Yesterday, during the impeachment hearing, Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz attempted to add Hunter Biden into the story, even though he's technically really not related whatsoever to any of the charges the president could be facing. But Matt Gaetz, being a loyal stooge to Donald Trump, wanted to misdirect the public, and he brought up Hunter Biden's alleged past drug abuse. And, well, that didn't go just the way Matt Gaetz thought it would, after Representative Hank Johnson called Gaetz out for his own history of substance abuse. Here's the clip.
Here's what it says. Hunter said that at that point, he had not slept for several days. Driving east on Interstate 10 just beyond Palm Springs, he lost control of his car, which jumped the median and skidded to a stop on the shoulder of the westbound side. He called Hertz, which came to collect the damaged car and gave him a second rental. The Hertz rental officer told me he found a crack pipe in the car and on one of the consoles a line of white powder residue. Plastic bag containing white powdery substance, a Secret Service business card, credit cards, and Hunter Biden's driver's license. That is what we would call evidence.
I would say that the pot calling the kettle black is not something that we should do. I don't know what members, if any, have had any problems with substance abuse, been busted in DUI. I don't know. But if I did, I wouldn't raise it against anyone on this committee. I don't think it's proper.
You know, I'm really glad that Representative Johnson decided to bring that up, because Matt Gaetz' DUI arrest is something that a lot of people, anytime Gaetz tweets something, bring up. You know, it's something we need a little bit more information about, because after all, even we've discussed it here briefly that Matt Gaetz' daddy's powerful connections, he was the president of the Senate here in the state of Florida when his son got popped for a DUI. But we haven't really gone into it, right? And as much as I love the fact that Johnson did call Gaetz out, I think it is important to tell the whole story of how Matt Gaetz got away with his DUI. So here it is. This is from the Tampa Bay Times back in 2016. Now, at the time, Matt Gaetz had admitted that he made some mistakes when he was younger. It was 2008 when he got arrested for DUI. And, you know, he said, it's just part of who I am now and I have to live with that. So I guess he kind of owned up to it, except he didn't talk about the fact of how he got off. So here's the story of Matt Gaetz getting pulled over. He was doing 48 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, gets pulled over by an officer by the name of Chris Anglin. So Mr. Anglin goes up to the car, asks for license and registration, and Matt Gaetz fumbles around like he can't quite get his hands to work properly. The officer said he looked in his eyes. They were glassy. They were bloodshot. He could smell alcohol on Matt Gaetz. He did a finger test, not a field sobriety test, but he did a finger test twice to see if his eyes could follow it, or eye test, excuse me. And Gaetz failed both of those. Gaetz then refused a field sobriety test. He refused a breathalyzer, and in the state of Florida, if you refuse a breathalyzer, hands down, no question about it, the law says you lose your driver's license for a full year. 1 full year, 12 months from the date of refusal. That's the law here in the state of Florida. Second officer shows up on the scene. They search Matt Gaetz' car. They couldn't find any alcohol, but they did find 2 bottles of mouthwash, one that was completely empty and one in the glove box that still had about a quarter left in it. Now, I've known alcoholics. Every alcoholic I've known drives around with a bottle of mouthwash in their car. Now, maybe that's just coincidence, but that's something that they do because they're prone to getting pulled over, and they think that mouthwash masks the smell of alcohol, not realizing that when you've had a lot to drink, it actually starts coming out of your pores as your body metabolizes it. So nonetheless, they find the mouthwash. Gaetz gets arrested. They book him. Then about a week and a half later, that same officer, Anglin, goes out, arrests somebody else for DUI. But then the other officers on the scene claim that, oh yeah, Anglin grabbed this guy by the throat. and not Gates, the new DUI person. He was really unreasonable with his force here, which obviously, police officer, that's not uncommon. We see it all the time. And then Anglin was forced to resign from the force. And then a couple days later after that, after these unsubstantiated claims against Anglin, the new prosecutor in Gates's case decided, we're just going to drop all the charges. We're going to reinstate your driver's license and you're free to go, Mr. Gates. Say hi to your dad for me. And that's the story in a nutshell of how Matt Gaetz got away with his DUI. Certainly nothing that would be able to happen to any of the rest of us. I mean, he broke the law, whether or not he had had any alcohol that night, which he claimed he didn't, but then he said maybe he had 2 beers. And that's also the standard line. That's what cops tell you. They say they typically hear people say, I had 2 beers. That is the number that cops tell you people say when they've actually been out drinking all night. And that Gaetz is textbook, folks. But nonetheless, he got away with it, didn't have his license suspended for a year, even though he refused the breathalyzer. Because that's the thing, even if you're sober in the state of Florida, if a cop comes up and says, I want to give you a breathalyzer, if you say no, even if you have never had a drink of alcohol in your life, you lose your license for a year. That's the law. Didn't happen to Gaetz. So no matter which way you slice it, Gaetz at least broke one law and got away with it because of who his father is, and now he has the audacity to turn around on the floor of Congress and try to make light of other people's substance abuse problems, and he rightfully and finally got called out on it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.